All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back officially from my vacation, and I'm back to doing some late night RTS League recording game casts, and it is 10:40 my time on July 3rd, 2019. And I've got three matches for you guys today from Division 2 of the RTS League Season 30. It is Season 30. Wow. Tournament. So Division 2, Week 2. We got three matches, 6 games total. And remember, each match is just a 2 game series. Each team, if they win a game, gets 3 points. So potentially could get 6 points for a tie, or they'd each get the split them if they were to go 1-1. So because it's a little bit later, I'm just going to jump right in to our first games of the night, which is DoD versus TM. And I will move on over to my proper thing, .b TM. Let's see how we looking. We looking pretty good. Go over here. My stream elements looks like it's working. And RTS League Season 30, Week 2. DoD versus TM1. And hold on just a second. I need to move this down just a little bit. And we are ready to go on Marsh. I love this game this map as a team game. Such an aggressive, awesome map to play on. It's really my favorite map of all is Marsh. It's just really fast-paced, lots of hunt, makes everything go a lot faster. But anyway, who are we looking at down here on the bottom right? We are looking at TM. Team Mystic, I believe, is what it's short for. And right here we have Yellow No Brain Genius is his nick right now. This is True Loke. And he is Zeus. He's always plays Zeus. Our middle player is Benji and Colossin. We're gonna have to shorten that down to Benji. And Benji is playing Loki, and then our other player for TM is Issei, who is probably playing Oranos. Yes, so True Loke, kind of a, I don't know, when you're talking about these players, Benji's pretty decent team player. True Loke's decent as well. Sometimes he just does some like really mind-boggling things. It's really strange. He tends to be pretty decent as well. Issei is probably the weak link of the threesome here. Probably the least skilled of the three, but I think still decent enough to do some work. So TM, all right, nothing spectacular, but nothing terrible either. On our top left corner is the Deities of Death. This is their B team, so kind of their A team is their stars. The B team is kind of more of the casuals. So we've got Meat Hook as a flank, and he is Oranos. We've got Evil as the pocket. He's Loki. And then we've got Libertine on the bottom left, and he is Loki as well. So we've got Loki, Oranos versus Oranos, Loki, Zeus. So very kind of similar teams overall as far as gods. In fact, the only difference is just a Zeus for a Loki. Speaking of the players, Libertine and Meat Hook are both just kind of average-ish, but do play a lot of team games. Evil would probably most consistently be the best of the three. He's been a little more successful than I'm aware of in like 1v1s and stuff. And he's a pretty decent team game player overall. But again, nobody spectacular that you're gonna be selling your high-priced tickets to come watch these guys play front row. But because neither of these teams are standout as far as top of the line, what we will hopefully get is a couple of two close games between these two teams. So hopefully we'll get that, and we'll get a couple competitive games, maybe some good things to see, some bad things to see, but hopefully it'll just be fun overall for everybody. Marsh is pretty unique in that it has tons of relics, a lot more than any other map in the game. And some of the relics can be pretty game changing. The one that I'd be looking for in this case would be the Hall of Thanes, or not the Hall of Thanes, the relic that makes Herseers or heroes move faster. Checking it to see if it's in here. Eye of Horus gives more town center population. That's not bad. Pygmalion statue, more villager hit points. It's not bad either. Not really seeing anything though that's overwhelming. Infantry have more hack armor. I don't think that actually applies to Herseer. It might, but I'm not sure. Be nice for the Zeus to get it. We'll see if he gets, if Trueloak gets a early hero to come and get it. We do have a forward build from Benji here, so we are looking to probably get a very aggressive double on Libertine, who is Loki. Libertine might be facing off against a kind of a hoplite Herseer combination here from the bottom, and then maybe Issei just kind of flooding units across the map to help out. Though we've also got the Uranos over on the other side who can also flood units across just as easily to help out. So very interesting to see this forward build. Kind of makes this a little bit of an all-in strategy, because especially as Norse, if you start losing your forward builds, it can really be rough for you trying to rebuild, because that's all your production, obviously. Libertine did swoop down with his Ulsark, so he saw this, and he knows this is here. And we do have this hero coming forward as well from Trueloak. Got 2 Herseer for Benji, and his Ulsark back here. A few people getting their relics gathered, and yeah, they're going to want to stop this wall. And that Ulsark is almost dead already. Must have taken some hits from a hippo somewhere or something. A spy was used on this Herseer to check and see what's going on, and yeah, we're getting typical Forseti age ups for our Loki players, and the Zeus is going up with Athena. So yeah, definitely going to be going all in over here. But here comes Evil coming down to help out Libertine. Nice to pick off houses early. Stop that military production. And we're going to see barracks, counter barracks, pretty standard play. Meathook advanced a little bit slower, though, than Issei, so we'll see if that makes much of a difference. Trueloak's going to be a little bit slow to... Yeah, he's just now getting his double military range or military academy and archery range. So not pure hoplites, a mix of hoplite Taxodi. Benji will have to be careful and kind of sit back until Trueloak's units start coming in waves. So just needs to be careful that he's not losing his Herseer in dumb fights. And okay, so we do have Issei actually coming forward on Meathook. So we might end up just seeing kind of a 1v1 on this side and a 2v2 down here. And here comes Trueloak now showing up with his heroes. A bolt is used on a Herseer, kind of a low value bolt really, and then we have another little skirmish up here between Herseer. You kind of always want to run your Herseer back if they're almost dead, because Forseti gets the healing springs, which can heal. Obviously, it's the healing spring, but you know, you kind of, if you get a Ulfsark or Herseer that's pretty low hit points, you can run it back to a healing spring. I think it's like 2 or 3 hit points a second, which isn't bad when they're standing still. But again, got to be careful. Don't kind of want to get these myth units out of this pack here. There we go. They are kind of all waiting for when they get Hall of Thanes. Benji is the only one getting Hall of Thanes. That's the tech that gives Herseer a much faster speed. We have a shockwave up here. Little raid up here though. We got 2 citizens idle. So far Issei is kind of having the upper hand up here on the top, but on the bottom it's not really too much has happened yet. Though I will say it looks like Benji has a much larger army than Evil, who is kind of his pocket counterpart, which is should probably, you know, there's nothing that really should make a difference here as far as army size. This is a bad fight for Evil to take here. He's way outnumbered, and oh man, if he could, Benji could heal this Herseer and get him fully back up. We'll see, but yeah. Oh, and there's a couple Herseer almost dead here as well. Up here, not too much going on. This raid did end, and now they are running down here. Just heroes roaming around. Oh, they need to get their healing speed. He needs to move down here and heal his units up. He does have the spy down here, though, to know where these Herseer are. And here comes Truelope now, sending in his army. Just one building is only training right now. Okay. Oh, wow. So Truelope just queued up 7 Toxotes in his archery range. He must have been floating a ton of resources. Getting pushed off of this gold mine isn't really too big of a deal. He does have this back gold mine that he could fall back to. It's pretty safe. I do like the use of the spy on the enemy Herseer. I feel like that's more valuable than using it on enemy villagers, because now you can see where the army is going so that you can follow or anticipate. Kind of an even attack here. We do have a shockwave here. And yes, this will force Evil to run back for now. He doesn't want to run back too far, though, because if he, with Meat Hook forward, if Benji gets behind Meat Hook, it can cause a ton of damage. But Evil's kind of behind on unit count here, so he has to be careful. And he's losing a few more Herseer for really no real reason. And now here comes Libertine to show up, but there's a spy on this army, so Benji knows it's coming, and now he runs after doing decent damage to Evil's army. But now we're going to have 3 DoDs up here. We have a fight that is just kind of going even. Both Atlanteans losing units. That's just kind of what Atlanteans do. Truelope is trying to do a raid down here, and he has scouted Hunt and also scouted the woodcutting of, who is this? Libertine again. Just forcing some idols, killing a Herseer, and now another one. Meanwhile, Benji is sitting in the middle with a lot of almost dead Herseer, actually. In fact, though, Evil has a lot of almost dead Herseer. Like, some of these are just one hit away from losing. But Meat Hook is up on top of Issei right now, and will probably pick off Oneville. Yep, that's Oneville, one citizen down for Issei, and Meat Hook is way forward here. Hey, what's up, Ozone? My first chat of the night. A little bit of a low-key dance here. Benji taking a lot of damage here. He's in a bad position. He's got to run right through this army. Oh, we have a restoration from Truelope to save. That would have been a really terrible fight for Benji. He was in a bad spot. So actually, that restoration I don't have a problem with, because Benji would have lost a ton of his Herseer, which would have really hurt. And Truelope is, oh, the power play, the grabbing of the forward town center. And now Issei a little bit slow to join this fight. We see that Benji lost a lot of his Herseer during that time. And Libertine does not, okay, he does have Hall of Things. They are just running a little bit slowly. And Benji is the first to age up. But kind of doesn't have any units to cast flaming weapons on. So he can't really, even though he's heroic, he really can't do anything with it. Got some Herseer back here, idle. Kind of surprised that they're running back. This seems like a winning fight for DoD. Because it's really a 2-on-1, basically. Well, I guess there's a little bit of Issei here. And we have Green coming in for a raid. Oh, they do have a spy on this. Oh, but they see that the spy on the Herseer, they know it's coming. And this battle did end up actually going in the favor of TM. But yeah, this was the value of the spy on the Herseer. It saved 3 citizens, which is pretty important. But still, Benji a little bit slow just to react to this. And Truelope is trying to defend with Hoplites, which run slower, even though they're Zeus, they run slower than the Herseer. So kind of not good. And Benji has now got a very high score, and Evil is kind of substantially behind. I mean, you compare the two pockets, and we have a flaming weapons used over on red for Benji. And now all of a sudden we have Meathook in a very precarious situation here. But kind of a low value flaming weapon. So he's got, what, 4 Hersier it's used on? Well, a few more, 5, 6. But I don't think, the problem is I don't think Evil, yeah, he's not close to aging up. Really what Liberty needs to do is keep Benji busy. But man, these battle boars just slowly taking down this town center, and Meathook just does not have an army. Well, there's another battle board here. Meathook's going to lose this town center here. He does have 2 town centers compared to just Issei's 1, but does not have an army. So we're kind of at a predicament here for this is looking pretty rough. They will fight off the attack, it looks like. But how is oh, we got a little bit of a myth unit raid here, just forcing a lot of idleness. Libertine is kind of getting shut down a little bit as far as his economy. There's not a lot of places he can go to get gold. So this attack is kind of somewhat repelled, although we do have some of Issei's units just kind of sitting here. And we have Libertine trying to do raids, which he is, but not really. He's kind of, just because he's getting pestered by these hoplites, can't really do any damage. And meanwhile, on this end, he doesn't really have anything to kind of react or defend with this. He could come up here if he gets lucky and spot that. But right now, Meathook just kind of fighting at a disadvantage this entire time. But here comes some Hersier. They really want to get these 2 Chiros first. Chiros up close do a lot of damage to infantry. Okay, I would like to see a flaming weapons used. Liberty needed to do flaming weapons on this army. He would probably win this fight. Instead, he just has to run. Yeah, Liberty probably should have done flaming weapons there, because he's losing quite a few Hersier. Ooh, right here, you gotta run him, man. Oh, yeah, he's losing a lot here without really of any benefit to him, which is gonna make him defending his base really hard. I mean, what? He can't really go to his goal. Look at all these idle villagers, all these dwarves just sitting around. And Benji has even snuck this town center here. So yeah, this is definitely going well in the favor of TM so far. With Benji kind of not doing anything on this side, he's now looks like he's down here, yeah, and he's got a raid going on Evil, who Evil starts shooting at this boar, even though he's getting raided, and then runs. So I guess these villagers needed to kill this boar, and then they could call it quits. Boar kicks them back. So yeah, DoD is in a pretty rough shape right now. Meathook getting doubled kind of put him back down on Issei's level. Actually, he's a little bit behind now. Issei at 3 town centers, and Meathook just trying to reclaim his home one. And Evil is stuck in age 2 with quite a widespread farmland here. This is very imaginative farming, I guess. This is a long way to rock. He's trying to drop off to age up, and now he's finally aging up, but it's just so late. Like, even by the time he gets age 3, Benji is just so far ahead of him. And what kind of eco upgrades are we looking at? Nothing very phenomenal. And the one thing that Hersier get is with each age up, they do get a free... Oh, he's getting doubled by these hoplites. But when Hersier age up, they get a free upgrade with each age. So Benji's Hersier are actually better than Evil's just because they are heroic. I don't know why. Oh, we got a underworld. Oh, right on top of the gold mine. Libertine using flaming weapons somewhere. Oh, right here. but lost a ton of dwarves, and he has no army to defend this either. Well, where? Oh, he's popping back out. Okay. Very low value flaming weapons here just to kill a town center. And okay, so I guess True Loc is coming up here to double meat hook. And now that he runs this far, he's now running back, and he's going to go back in the underworld? Or what's he doing? Like either fight here or fight here, one of the two. And now it's too late to fight down here. The underworld's going to be down. Really not a lot of value out of it. Did get about a 10-11 villager kill. But that's a pretty important god power down. But at this point, DoD is just so far behind. We see that Benji is we're so doing very well this game. He's up, probably going up now. Not quite yet. True Loc is mythic, and yeah, I don't see what DoD can do to come back. They're just so far behind. Town centers 7-8 to 5. We got a double here. I mean, it just takes so long. He converted a Terma that was almost dead to a hero, and it died immediately. You really want to get you get your Murmillos as heroes, not your Terma against Battle Boar. Meat Hook for kind of getting a half double is actually not in a bad spot, but his other teammates aren't quite where they need to be. We got a town center getting smashed down by these raiding hoplite archer brigade, and DoD is looking pretty grim. TM just has full control of the map. Meat Hook is up through Hyperion. Powerful Satyr. Probably going to use Chaos up here, I would think. Yeah, maybe not. Surprised he didn't use Chaos. I guess he's figuring he's going to win it anyway. Oh, he uses Chaos up here. Interesting. Benji's army, actually, he doesn't really have much of an army right now. He's really doing eco. Does have some pretty decent eco upgrades, and if we compare him to Evil, he's way ahead. And these farms, oh wow, they are very, very, very adventurous farms. True Loc is fighting a double here and is losing his army. And in that time, got just a Battle Boar raid down here. And yeah, it's 19 minutes. We're seeing the first farms getting built by Libertine. He does not have an army to put a stop to this attack. So this is looking like a town center done for him. And I would expect to see, hopefully, DoD resigning soon, because there's just no chance. We got this huge army of Myrmidons that are coming right in front of Libertine's base. Whew, yeah, Libertine has like nothing down here. His entire army was up here saving Evil. What kind of eco upgrades we looking at? Yeah, decent. What about up here? Yeah, not so good for Meat Hook. Yeah, so Libertine is at 0 town centers. He's also got a little bit of a problem here with his idle vills that are about to get attacked. Well, it's True Loc decides to attack. We got Bellerophon flying around, landing on Battle Boar. So much damage. Bit of a shockwave here. But Meat Hook down 3 to 2 town centers, and there's actually this one town center that right in the middle that everybody's apparently ignoring. But as soon as True Loc attacks somewhere, this game will be over. Just the Myrmidons do so well, and that is Libertine, calling it a GG. So well played by TM. Really, Benji and True Loke really did pretty well, taking control of this entire portion of the map. Meat Hook and Issei kind of stalemated. Meat Hook on the bottom end just because he was on the receiving end of a pretty hefty double there for a while. Otherwise, he was able to keep up with Issei. But yeah, definitely the game difference was this bottom half here. So that is game 1 of this. So we will update that. TM gets their first victory. I do believe TM lost in week 1. So they get some much needed wins here. Well, win, and we'll see about game 2 in a minute. Let's take a look at our resources. Libertine way behind. Kind of that's result of getting forward built and your forward town center taken. Ilikoi is way behind, lost a ton of vills here. This is the underworld. Military, Benji killed the most, had a really nice kill-loss ratio. Libertine not so good, Evil not so good. Issei and Meat Hook pretty much went level. So that's game 1. We will move on to game 2, DoD versus TM on Medit. Not exactly thrilled to see Medit. These games tend to go along with not a lot of excitement, but we shall see what happens here. I'm actually seeing a very strange, well, not very strange, but interesting god choices a little bit here. So on the bottom is our TM players, and we've got True Loki, Zeus. We've got Benji with Kronos as a pocket, and then we have Issei as the other flank, and he's a Ranos. So True Loke and Issei keeping their same gods. Benji switching to Kronos. Kronos on Medit isn't a bad play. You get to deconstruct some early docks, and then late game you can time shift and really be an annoyance and time shift in the back and just harass trade and such. On the top though, we have our deities of death players. Libertine, he's the pocket, and he was a Zeus. Meat Hook has switched from Aranos to Kronos, and Evil is Loki. So we have the same players, just slightly different gods. Just 2 gods were switched off for Kronos on this map. When you talk about Medit, it's pretty much all about the water early on. Really, that's the only way to play this game is to go hard on water on this map. You can't really afford not to, because if you don't, you will get tripled on water, and even if you try to win on land, it's just because of the map size and the easy choke points, you really can't win on land fast enough to counteract losing on water. So we do have a first deconstruct on the Atlantean dock. A little bit early actually, because these boats already dropped off and they're still just gathering, so we don't even have any idle boats. Really probably don't want to do it on a Aranos, because you know that his dock building citizen will go to the wood line. Really should have done it over on the try to find the Greek, because the Greek typically won't have a close villager gathering, and I would have been a little bit more beneficial to do that Greek one, or even Norse can be pretty decent as well. But DoD did not use their time shift, which is usually you want to use it as early as you can, not time shift, deconstruct. So here's our deconstruct a little bit later, and that's on TM Trueloke, who is now having to run his vills back all the way from the pigs to build the dock. And we'll see, I've got a couple boats that are full, so we do have some more idle time here, requiring the building of a new dock all the way from the middle of his base here. We'll see where these Chronos players time shift their temples. Anybody aging yet? Not yet, so it looks like we'll have the Atlanteans all doing a 430 advance or so. Oh, I saw Benji started making another villa and now he stopped, so 440 about. A little bit slower than Issei by just a slight bit. Tirulok isn't up yet. I wonder, yeah, he'll go up to Athena for restoration on all his boats. And Evil is here. Doing things. Evil is not aging up. This is a very slow advance. Oh, he's going up with Heimdall. Wonder if he's wanting to get that aeroship technology. Just lots of fishing. We will be hitting classical soon. Okay, so one temple's being time shifted here, so it's time shifting to the Chronos. Issei is up, attacking a dock. I see a lot of Atlantean players doing this, and without Chronos being able to forward build a temple, really this dock harass with oracles is kind of pointless because it's never gonna kill the dock before fishing or before warboats come out. So kind of a low value valor. Benji is over here. It looks like he did get focus for better fighting oracles, and yeah, he's coming up. Looks like, well, after he finishes off his scout, he looks like he might be looking for some vills to harass, and that's generally what you want to do. Evil, because he advanced so late, is kind of behind on the boat making regime here. Yeah, Undermine. I wonder what his thought process is with Undermine. So I think that's actually a pretty expensive boat tech to get that Heimdall gives. But yeah, this attack is repelled pretty easily. Kind of a waste of a valor. Man, I did not get much sleep last night, and it is really killing me right now. Meta games. Benji a little bit aggressive with his boats here, losing a lot of his boats with very little damage to show for it. And looks like we're gonna have the double fight on this side and then a 1v1 over here. So far Benji is kind of throwing away some boats, and Trulok also doing a bit of a bad fight here. But very Evil should be able to win this fight. He's got about equal numbers of boats, and the Norse boats are a lot better than Atlantean when it comes to straight up fighting. Really the only benefit Atlantean have is they're just slightly cheaper, and they're also faster. The speed is important. Meathook using a valor somewhere. Okay, so a bolt was used on Odysseus. That's a pretty decent bolt. Odysseus early on is one tough cookie to crack here. Our water is so far pretty even, although Evil is having his way with Issei so far. Down here, this is a bad fight for Meathook. He's fighting while Liberty knows the screen away, not fighting, and that's gonna have to make them both retreat here. But Liberty should not be fighting this. Well, actually boat numbers aren't terrible, but See, he's retreating, and Meathook is staying put. But yeah, this is kind of stalemating right over here in this battle. Looks to me like this will be in Evil's favor. A lot of almost dead biremes here. And DoD does push back Benji and Trueloke on this side, so far pretty well played by DoD. Yeah, this is a little too far forward. You don't want to fight under a bunch of docks. Docks fire arrows too. This is a nice fight right here for Evil. We will win this pretty easily. Should try to target these very low HP boats though. Well, this one is like one arrow shot away, and even this one is really weak too. But oh, Issei kind of really mismanaging his boats, just sailing in and then now sailing back. And we have a restoration from Trueloke. Did get some of his allies' boats in with that. I don't know where Meathook is going with his boats. Pushing back Trueloke here while Benji roaming off this direction. Nobody's grabbing town centers yet? Nope. DoD is looking pretty good so far. Early game. Issei is kind of completely pushed out. Uh-oh. Evil's not paying attention here and is losing a ton of boats. But we do have another restoration. This time it's DoD's restoration. And it allows them to continue their push in with now fully healed or mostly healed units. We got a Pegasus flying in to be a jerk and take up arrow fire, which looks like that's what he's doing. Yeah, Evil lost quite a few boats with this little aggression here, which kind of set him back a little bit, though he's still in a better position than Blue is. What was that just died? Well, that was the Pegasus. Meathook needs to fall back or he's going to catch himself in a very bad position here. A very bad position. Alright, now he is retreating. Just needs to sit under his docks. So Issei is building boats over here now. How did he get his Vil all the way over here? Did I miss a transport or something? Or did he hop on an enemy North ship and get transported over? He's got, yeah, I don't know how he got this citizen down here. Well, actually, never mind. I'm confused. For some reason, I thought I was all mixed up. Thought he was coming from here, but no, that's just a forward citizen. So he didn't swim at all. Cam's here. He just walked. But TM is now actually forcing back. He kind of probably missed a pretty big boat fight here. Ton of idle boats right here. It's a lot watching me play. And now they are pushing DoD away back. All the way back to the docks here. We do have a town center being grabbed by Meathook. What looks so good down on the bottom now, all of a sudden DoD is having to fall way back, and they are way behind in boat production suddenly. Like, immensely behind, and Meathook just had one of his two docks deconstructed. So things are looking all of a sudden, when things were okay down here, I must have missed a fight where DoD just got utterly spanked. And now we have Issei has showed up to kind of add even more insult to injury over here. If you're not losing to 2, well, we'll show up with 3 and win this battle even more. And now Evil way behind as a response is coming over here. And even Evil is his boats where he was at one point kind of handily beating Issei. He's kind of now just even-ish. A little bit of a Libertine raid here. This is a long way for his units to go. Holy cow. And I won't get much out of this raid other than dead soldiers. And yeah, Meat Hook is completely and utterly pushed off of fish. I need to turn and make sure they're not, at least finish off Libertine's boats. But yeah, this is Libertine looks like he's next to get pushed off of his water. Where are they going? You can probably fight. Not sure why they both decided just to leave from here. And they were not actually shooting Libertine's boats, even though they were right next. And wow, it looks like everybody is responding to this evil raid. Trueloke with just a ton of, but what is this? 26. So not a literal ton, but a lot. And it looks like they're just trying to respond to this raid. But by doing that, they are allowing Libertine and Evil to free fish when really they shouldn't be able to fish right now. But here comes Issei. Evil is getting his forward town center. And Issei isn't getting a town center yet. I noticed last game, Issei is a little bit slow to get his town center as Oranos. And kind of slow to get it this game, too, it looks like. It's probably by 14 minutes, should be getting a second town center. Like we see Benji is at 3. Issei just sitting at 1. Trueloke does have another town center, and we have some fighting up here. We got Meat Hook trying to pressure on land since he got pushed off of water so easily. But we have Benji is kind of fighting this off, and Trueloke has some units. They're still chasing this raiding army of Red's boats here. Travi needs to make sure he doesn't lose them here. He could have just ran some more and not lost all of his boats, but it looks like yes, this is their last stand. They are Libertine's boats, and now he decides to run, but it's kind of too late. Now is he down to just like 6 boats. Evil does have his forward town center. That's kind of always the worry when you lose waters. If you don't get your forward town center, you're kind of screwed, because you're just going to have a hard time keeping up economically. You don't have that forward town center. And Meat Hook's forward is now demolished as well. A little bit of a raid here, but Evil's kind of in position to stop it. We see that Evil is still kind of fishing, although he only has 4 boats, and Libertine not fishing at all. You have some fights here over this forward. Okay, I see what happened. Is Meat Hook took one of Libertine's town centers. What a team player, because this is Meat Hook's forward. But Meat Hook took this one, which must have been one of Libertine's, because Libertine has 1 here and none else, so yeah, that had to be Libertine's. Still has 4 boats roaming the wild seas. Evil is way ahead of Issei in score. He's got a nice army, and a chaos was used by Benji, but it only got a troll. In home in a few minutes. Well, we're still doing this game before we move on to ATB and F2. Well, you're telling me what to do, huh? I can't start. So Benji and Trueloke are kind of, just like last game, are kind of way ahead, starting to get way ahead of their oppositions. But Issei, like, Evil needs to recognize that this side is going to lose, and he needs to go high and attack as fast as he can to Issei. Evil has to attack Issei. Around all the red lights, he will get home faster. That is, well, get home faster as long as you don't run into a cop. Ooh. Usually don't look kindly to the running of the red lights. Milk is up Hyperion, Issei is up Thea. Yeah, Issei, yeah, Thea. He will probably lose his citizen. Cops are all casting on Twitch. Yeah, the streets are safe right now. But yeah, one thing Issei did do is he put a lot of resources into boats, and Truelope did as well. He kind of overkilled the boats, and this is 150 resources a boat. And we've got fishing ships just kind of sitting there. But yeah, this is a lot of eco put into boats. So yeah, we're gonna have a 2v2 on this side, and then a 1v1 over here. So TM does have the advantage. The one thing though with Medit, it is very easy to stall. But we've got quite the push here from, or attempted push, but yeah, there's nothing, without any siege, there's nothing they can do with this push, and Benji's already up Atlas, so yeah, he can vortex down here and save his buddy as need be, and that's a good vortex, because really the only way, flaming weapons now as well. I'd trade one cast of vortex for flaming weapons, but it's Hersey are doing some work, but there's just not quite enough of them to keep up with all of this, so the Hersey will all be dead. And that's quite a sizable army from Evil that is now gone, and he's also losing all of his battle boar. And again, I mean, DoD is trying to push on this side, but they just don't have any siege. So kind of this aggression here is, in a way, almost at this spot in the game kind of pointless, because what are you gonna do? You're killing a military barracks. Did use a deconstruct on that fortress here. Where's the 2K gameplay? Well, if you're looking for it on this stream, if you're looking for it from me, you'll be looking for a long time. If I get another, also we have a chaos from, nice chaos gets that manticore. I guess that's the only myth unit it could have grabbed. We have Issei is now kind of fighting back, and we have Benji. He's way ahead of Benji. Really playing well these two games. Look at him, his score compared to everybody else's. He's doubled Libertine's score. And he has Vortex that he can use. Yeah, it does need to forward build a little bit so he can get way up here and consistently provide help. This hill fort is built just probably to die shortly. Geeka Gigantes does a ton of damage to hill forts. But there is an our recorded game just ended. Well, that sucks, because what that means is this game was saved and restored. I'm sure somebody probably disconnected, and unfortunately in Asian mythology, this is always the fear that I run into when I'm doing these recorded game streams, is that restored games don't save a recorded game. So we're kind of going to be out of luck for watching the rest of this game, which is too bad, because though, I don't know, I think that TM would win, because Libertine not in a good position as a pocket. Shoot. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to... Look at it, eco. I am not going to be able to finish this game. I mean, theoretically, I could stream the stream. Anyone in chat know who won? So I will do a quick look, and we will see who won. So we will see. Is there no other game? I'm not sure that they got to restore this one. But I guess I can see if there is another game, and maybe that is the restored one, and there is a different game that was uploaded. So let me check into that for just a sec. I will put you guys on my overlay while we see. Oh man, I'm way off here. Hi guys. So I will just see if there is another, perhaps a different recorded game that ended up being played. That would be our only hope, is that I streamed a game that ended up not mattering. So we will look up to League replays. I am looking for DoD on Medit. I'll download the one that's attached here. So I'm trying to get the other one. Nope, that's the same. That's the same file. 187 kilobytes of fileage. That's the same one that I downloaded, and I downloaded both from Voobly and from that's Marsh. Alright, yeah, the proper recorded game is not anywhere, so we will look at what the result was, because I'm not going to be able to get the recorded game for it, because the recorded game was not in existence. So let's see. Iron Maiden with a host for 11 viewers, or maybe 10. So okay, let's just take a quick look here at the, let's see, what am I looking at? Okay, so TM ended up winning that. So TM ended up defeating a DoD 2-0 in that series. So yeah, that's too bad. Am I a prisoner now? No. So anyway, we're gonna move over to F2 versus ATB. I will put in, well, maybe I won't. So our first series ended up as a 2-0 for TM. Unfortunately, we can't finish that second game. That's too bad. I hate doing that. But we will move on to all-time best versus F2. This is week 2 of our RTS league. But yes, the beard here. So I've been on vacation for, just got back a couple days ago. And during this time, I've not shaved. Just shaved a little bit down on the neck beard, because you gotta shave the neck beard. But this is probably the longest facial hair I've had my whole life. Because usually, even though when I do get off of work and I'm on vacation, I usually don't let it grow because it's so itchy. But this time I manned through it, and yeah, here I am. The facial hair. This is definitely the longest facial hair I've got, and I can keep it for one more night, and then when I go back on Friday to work, I'm gonna have to shave her all off. So I could keep the mustache, but the mustache. I mustache you a question. What's the cleverest and dumbest thing I've caught a criminal doing? Thinking. It's kind of hard to come up with specific situations, and not I wouldn't ever say I've ever seen one doing anything very clever, because the clever ones don't get caught. The dumbest. I do have a pretty dumb one that happened recently, as we had an armed robbery at a gas station. Cult leader level. Yeah, I'm gonna join Andrew Yang's cult. But the dumbest thing was this arm. Maybe not the dumbest, but it's the first thing I could think of at the top. Man, this guy thinks I'm hot with this beard. Yeah. The dumbest thing was this armed robbery we had maybe a month ago. A gas station, pretty late at night, probably 2 a.m. I might have even said this on this stream already. What's up, Blossom? Just you guys bear with me for a bit. I'm gonna answer this question. Maybe talk to you guys for just a second. We'll move on to ATB versus F2. This is a little intermission. But yeah, so armed robbery. This guy decides to rob this convenience store, gas station, about 2 a.m. Only one problem. Typically, when you want to rob your station or your store, you kind of want to make sure the coast is clear when you go in. because your goal is to get in and out as fast as you can and then get out of there before anybody is able to call the cops. This guy, not very smart, walking to the store with his mask on. And in the middle of the summer, you usually aren't wearing masks. So he's got this mask on and he's walking to the store, walks across the parking lot of the gas station, past a car that has two people in it. And there they are sitting in their car, and this masked man comes walking past them, holding a knife in his hand also. Like, he didn't even have his knife concealed. It was, here I am with my mask and my knife. I'm robbing this store. You guys don't see me. So what's really entertaining is there's two people in this car. One calls 911, and the other guy gets out his phone and starts recording this guy walking into the store. So before this guy's even robbing the store, he's being recorded, and it's so funny because this guy on the recording, which we end up getting for evidence, is like, man, is this guy really gonna rob the store? He is robbing the store. You call 911, Ma. Call 911. So Ma calls 911, and then this guy starts recording this guy. Yep, he's in the store. He's in the store. Tell him to hurry up. Tell those cops to hurry up. And then this guy comes out of the store with his money stuffed into his waistband, and then he's still got the mask on and the knife. And the customer recording on his phone chases this robber like 3 blocks down, recording the whole time, and he's just hurling insults at this guy, cussing him out and threatening him, how about you fight me? You're big enough to rob the store. Come fight me, man. Fight me, man. And he chases him down like 3 streets. And of course, because they called 911 while the guy was still in the store, our police response was like immediate. And we were there probably within like a minute. And I show up, and this guy is waving me down. I just saw the guy. He's in these bushes. I chased him all the way here. And he was in the bushes with his money stuffed in his pants pockets, and he got himself arrested. And what's funny is the guy was still recording, so then on his cell phone. So then when I put in evidence, I'm like, oh, here I show up on this guy's recording. He's telling me he's in the bushes. And he was so proud of himself too. And the best part about the whole thing was the guy, our key witness, our star of this whole thing, had been himself the offender in like 3 drunken disorderly calls earlier in the night, because man, he was blasted, and he narrowly avoided getting arrested like 2 of those 3 times, and with just the ultimatum of, this had better be the last time we talk to you tonight, or you're out of here the next time. And then the next time we do talk to him, he's like the big hero chasing this guy down and recording him, and it was very entertaining. This drunken fool ended up being the hero. He chased the robber down and recorded him. That's pretty dumb. So if you're going to rob a store, make sure the coast is clear, and don't just come prancing past the customers in the parking lot with your mask on and your knife. That leads to immediate police response. So yeah, he was commenting that, man, I've been in trouble all night, but I finally did something good for you guys, didn't I? And yeah, now I'm sure every time he's drunk and disorderly from now on, he's gonna bring that up and be like, you remember that time? Like, yeah, you're still drunk. My aunt is single. If you divorce, tell me, and I can arrange a meeting with her. I am hot with that beard. So because you think I look good with my beard, you want me to get with your aunt. All right. Okay. You must think highly of your aunt if you want her to be with this. Maybe his aunt is hot. But my wife is hot too, so yes. Uncle Chrono. You could watch Uncle Chrono streaming. When you sure you're in, yeah, you never know. Andrew is Animal Parka. Let's move on to this game. Oh my goodness, you guys. Yeah, my wife is a hottie. Yes, I talk about my wife like that because she is hot. How's it going? It's going good. Oh, I need to change up, and we are okay. So TM120 against DoD. So just for the record, I will change that up on the top, and now I will change that again to our next series of the night, 2 of 3, F2 versus not ONU, F2 versus ATB. Alrighty. If you guys need a photo shoot with the beard, Maybe I'll set my wife up and she can get one. Actually, I tell you what though, my wife is raving about my facial hair too, because again, if you missed it, this is the first time I've had facial hair in pretty much forever, because at work I have to shave. And I've been off for 2 weeks, so this has grown for 2 weeks. And normally when I'm off, I shave it. But yeah, this is the longest facial hair I've had my entire life. And my wife, she is all about it. Oh, let's see. Let's make sure. Do I have my thing right here? Oh, look at this. Wow, that is all off center and misshapen. Where do I work? I work for the police. That's why I just had a police story. And you gotta, we're not the progressive police department where you can wear beards, have beards. Does everything look good? Do I have the game on screen for you guys? Because we are going to switch over to our second series. When is Chrono versus TM 1v3? Man, after my games earlier today, I'm not 1v3 in anybody, not even an easy AI. Couldn't believe the filthy. Yeah, I saw that. They turned his mic off. F2 versus ATB 1. Holy cow, we're seeing lots of Rahs. Rah on Alfheim. This is not the right game. Okay, I got my games mixed up. Okay, hold on. So I misnamed my recorded games. So we are not seeing Rahs. We are now we are to F2 and ATB. That was our next series, is ONU versus UCA. So this is F2 versus ATB. When I catch, I take 20 points off the rating. All right, what do we got down here on the bottom? We got F2 on the bottom. Oh, we got a 7-up. Man, I don't know if 7-Up's really been playing much these days, but here he is playing RTS League. But I tell you what, when you're 7-Up or anybody and you're flanked by TSM player, aka F2 player, and F2 Gold Lion or Green Sea Squash, you're in pretty good shape, because player, one of the premier team players in the game, and the Gold Lion pretty good too. So you can kind of do whatever you want. Player is looking for his hunt, which is why he's not building a granary here. His hunt is right here. It's actually been in line of sight for a little bit now, and he did not notice his hunt. And his other one is right there, so he is now going to berries first. It's not good. You want to go straight to your hunt. And it's one here and one just off the beaten path. But anyway, what are you looking at? We got Zeus, Zeus, Odin, Ra. Yeah, that's why he wanted to go home. I tell you what, before he even started streaming, he wanted to know, hey, when are you streaming ATB versus ONU? And then followed by, please don't roast me. So on our top is our ATB team. And we've got the star of the show, ATB Ozone. He is Hades. Look at him flexing. And our pocket is Mr. Boat. He is Odin. And our other player is Raha Kanarawa, and he is Ra. Look at all this goat on this. In fact, he did so many goats with his great hunt, he did not get another boar. As far as okay, so the matchup, F2 is clearly the favorite here. F2 with a solid team player, Gold Lion, then whoever you throw with them can do pretty good. Anyway, and ATB, not bad players, pretty decent. A lot of team game player going on, team game players here. Now, Mr. Boat. I know some of these guys are extended edition now. I'm not actually sure. I never really knew the ATB. They must have started coming around after I stopped playing in like 2006. And then I didn't play again until like 2011 or so. So they must have showed up then. But I don't really know who these guys are except for Ozone. But I know Raha is a decent player. Mr. Boat, don't really have too much information on this guy. We can see what happens in this game. One thing I have seen though from Raha And I have done, this is because yesterday I live streamed ATB versus ONU. And I also did ATB's first round matchup before I left on vacation. Raha has been doing some kind of very suboptimal early game builds as Ra, which has resulted in some very, very, very slow advances. We'll see what he does here. Did he get hunting dogs? See, I don't like the use. I don't like hunting dogs on a map like this when you have all the goats you need to advance. You're spending 200 resources, and you're really, if you're just doing your 2 boar, it's not actually paying for itself. You're actually slightly behind. And then you can't even get husbandry early to get your goats fattened up. Like here, what I would do as a Ra would be just do husbandry right away. And never leave my base. 2-town center, fast heroic, and just use maybe my starting boar and then move on to goats and then do a 2-town center from there. So far, Raha has had some pretty slow 2-town center advance times. Like even right now, he's advancing at 520. You want to be up about 5 to 515 if you're doing 2-town center Ptah. But sitting here, it's easy, I mean, to talk. If you guys watched me play versus Jellyfish for my tournament games, they were a train wreck, I tell you what. I am out of practice. And Jellyfish played well. How fast is fast heroic for Rod? Depends on what you do. And 7-up is up as Odin. We'll be making... Okay. Has a choice here where you could either do Ulsarks or Raiding Cavalry. 7-up, I think, prefers to do Ulsarks. So we will probably see Ulsarks and not Raiding Cavalry. How fast is it? 2-town center Ptah, you should be up at 830. 1-town center, if you're doing like a 1-town center Bast, which you shouldn't do in a team game because it's pretty inefficient, up 730 to 8. So far, I've been seeing Raha doing about 930 2-town center Ptah. So that's like a minute behind what it kind of should be. So yeah, he is going up here getting his town center. Like theoretically, he could almost have it. If you're advancing at 5 minutes, which is what you should do, he could almost have his town center built by now. But yeah, whatever, things happen. So what is 7-up? 7-up is doing Ulsarks, so pure Ulsarks. They get a lot of flexibility in that. Unlike Raiding Cavalry, they can obviously build. So kind of Odin's team game strength is you can almost play it like a slight Loki in that you can do all your raids with kind of fast-moving Ulsarks and then be back building and just harassing everybody. It's pretty fun to play that way, and it's pretty efficient as long as you just don't absolutely lose your entire Ulsark army. We do have a very slow advance for Ozone here. I don't know what happened to him, but we're looking at about a 640 advance. I don't know what... Oh, he's going very forward here. This is... a very optimistic town center grab with a 640 classical. So Ozone asked that I not roast him prior to streaming. So we'll move on. What's Mr. Boat doing? He also is kind of behind. He's just now building his military buildings. And we have a rain being used on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rain. Only 8 farms? And he does not even have plow yet. So he is raining with initially only 8 farms and no plow. This is a very bad rain. Plow, if you don't know, Egyptians actually start with a minus 11% farming nerf, I guess you could call it. And plow restores that and gives an additional 11%. So plow is a 22% increase basically, and he has used over half of his raw rain with not having that plow research, and that really hurt. That's several hundred food right there. And a nice raid by 7 Up here on the wood line here, followed up with some centaurs that are raiding as well. Ozone does get his town center. I guess players assumed that since Ozone advanced so late, that Ozone would not try to get the... Oh, so maybe he did the farm. He might have done the rain because he wanted to get it in before Gold Lion. So that makes a little bit more sense. And actually even Gold Lion, this is a very slow advance for Gold Lion too. I'm really not impressed with this. Though he'll be slowed down a little bit because he couldn't do his rain first. Neither of them, they're looking at like 930 advance, and that's just a little too slow. Oh, 7 Up with the very fast... Okay. Oh no, that's Mr. Boat. Mr. DeBoat used the trees in defense. Look at that. The trees for defense. You don't see that very often. Not really very efficient. The reason it is because back in the days in AOM originally, wow, we're seeing a lot of raiding from these centaurs. Back in the day, AOM, pre-AOT, raw archaic rain was crazy overpowered. And that's why they changed it. And probably without that nerf in Age of Mythology original, it probably would still be too strong. But in Titans, it's not as much of a deal because of 2 town centers. Sorry, Ozone, I started a little bit, and I was really amazed with your 6-minute and 40 advance here. That was very, very creative. We have trees chasing Ulsarks. 7 Up is way behind as far as, well, score. Okay, age 3. So he 930 advance. That's pretty slow. Stream my games from earlier and analyze. No, I'm not doing that. I have already analyzed them in my mind, and it was complete suckage. Okay, so both Raz, I guess, advanced equally slowly, so it's not a big deal. This Petsuchos is not long for this world, or not the rock. And oh, we do have... okay. You could just delete this Migdal and rebuild it right here. And that's a nice pick off of that. Yeah, rebuild your Migdal, because the problem is he's not building his Migdal. So he's going to immediately fall behind in army production here. And he's going to be in a bit of a predicament, he being Raha, because now it's 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and he does not yet have a Migdal built. And this is just the curse when you're Ra versus Ra. You advance slower, you don't get your first Migdal up, and he's royally screwed right now. Because where is he going to get his other gold mine? Because there's the only back gold mines, it's pretty typical, is sometimes they spawn in between players. It kind of depends. Ghost Lake gold mine spawn is a little bit jacked, but at times. His closest gold mine, if he doesn't go forward, is this one, and that's a little bit rough. Mr. Boat now, he went from a high score to a low score on the team. Ozone is got the 3-town center boom. Player not doing a whole lot right now, yeah, where is does actually get the Migdal up, but we'll see how long it lasts, because I mean he's just behind the army and it's just going to continue, and Mr. Boat is coming down to help out. That might save his buddy actually, and it looks like it will, because 7 Up not really doing a whole lot with his back builds and stuff. In fact, with him losing his army to those trees, kind of gets to the point where he just doesn't have much of an army to really do anything, but it's still enough to be a little bit of a doy. What's my secret to be so sexy? Well, if I told you, I wouldn't be sexy anymore, because sexiness is probably relative, and so is beauty. When you're surrounded by a bunch of beautiful people, the beautiful people don't look quite that beautiful. So if I start telling people how to be sexy, everybody else will start looking sexy. Oh, where's this? Okay. I can live with this. This was a locust right here. I like that. That is a ton of village. This is just complete carnage. Look at all these dead bodies. Wow. It's not true, though. You don't think? I don't know. I think it's kind of relative. My real name is Tessa. Yes, because you all know, as I said on a different stream, Tessa. To me, Tessa's just stereotype for a big-boobed woman that really has nothing else going for her. Cheerleader effect? Not just because I can Google something and it's on Google doesn't mean it's true, but I don't know, maybe it is. But Ozone here, looking for Ozone's army. Right here. And he's got a lot of centaurs just running around here, and no. These vills will lead the centaurs directly to the other vills, or not. We'll see. Yeah, where is Ozone's army? It's right here. Ozone! Oh man, these centaurs, though, did not catch those. So, here's Ozone's army. He was cleaning up this. Alright. So he does have an army. He's actually, even though he's getting rated pretty heavily, he's not super far behind, but I think player will probably advance up quicker. If he isn't up already. No, those two are both. Okay, so we have a forest fire here. Not a bad forest fire. This will... the tree must not be quite close enough to get to the... Or the trees were not quite close enough to the Migdal. But the forest fire and double push here does result in the heroic usage of a frost. So that's actually a good trade here. And we have Ajax just pounding through these centaurs. And we'll see this back build again. This is just so annoying. Because you have to... Back building is huge. Because in order to eliminate this back build now, you have to send more units in population than what is back here. So theoretically, 7-Up could just leave this and never make any units, and that would require, you know, at least a certain number of units from Ozone to come back here and clear this up, and population is everything. If he's got 20 pop in military killing 3 buildings, that's 20 pop he doesn't have somewhere else. Where is this hole in the wall? I see this. You don't need to keep spamming it. People think individuals are more attractive when they're in a group, but it doesn't say are they in a group of hot people. So because of Raha Kanara getting help from Mr. Boat, he's able to kind of turn this around, and now he actually does have his forward town center, and is on the aggression against Gold Lion right now, mainly because 7-Up kind of has not been carrying his side of the bargain. He hasn't really been doing a whole lot, but we do have a pretty nice trade route from Gold Lion, bringing in 181. He's empowering the wrong market like a doof. That happens. And the trade route by Raha is quite a bit behind. He has some, but he's only getting 144. It's not too bad. F2 player is up. The Apollo, and we got Ozone in a really bad spot here. And 7-Up with a semi-fast Rag. Interesting. He doesn't have a ton of vills. But we could... Yeah, well, player is going to carry any game, really, when you think about it. But yeah, you just... I don't know where the heroes are for Ozone. And we can see like how many units. See, 7-Up has just nothing back here. And look how much units this is requiring just for them to kill. I mean, this is a little bit overkill, but a ton of units here. And poor Ozone, kind of way behind. He's getting a ton of vills killed. And F2 has repelled this attack now, and now here's 7-Up's main army right here. Yeah, Hades versus Sen is tough. I wouldn't say it's impossible. Where is your Chiron with the patch? Does move faster. And I feel like he is a decent counter to the Centaurs. And why did you choose Hades? Yeah, that's the question then. You know, I guess you are when you don't know where you're going to show up in the game, though. Is Empower Market worth 2 pop? Yes, it definitely is. It's a... Centaurs are over-nerfed. Hades is favored versus Zeus on Voobly? I don't think that's true. It's a lot more even though, but I would still give the edge to the Zeus. But we got quite the attack back here because now Raha is facing a double because all of Mr. Boat's army was up here finishing out this. Oh, now we have the underworld. Oh, poor Ozone, just getting hammered. But priest empowerment is 15% for markets. That's worth it as long as you're empowering the right town center or the right market, which he's not. So that's, in this case, it's not worth. But yeah, we've got all these units popping through this Titan or this underworld here. We haven't used rag used yet, and I guess 7-Up is just saving it for a raggy day. Yeah, FH Lions, I don't know. I don't think it eats because that's so much. Because Hades gathers this just non-Zeus Egyptian gather favor so slowly. I don't even think that's worth it. I'd actually think that per villager time, I would think Sense might actually even. Well, no, Goat Lions do have a ton of hit points, but I don't know. I don't think it's nearly as one-sided as you think. Because a little tornado here that's not doing too much. But the AoE, they should never really be able to get on the AoE because centaurs would be so much faster than the lion. It only works if you're able to get the aggression. And I don't think if you fast heroic against a centaur making Zeus that you should be able to get the aggression. So we have tornado that really did nothing. We have shifting sands though that did snag that son of Osiris here. Gold Lion could shift him back if he wanted. He's not. I love the shift to pick off the Osiris. I like it. So this side is pretty even actually, but up here we have a problem where it's Ozone versus player, and Ozone's trying, but the problem is when you are up against player, it's what you gonna do. A very broad. Okay. We have Pestilence on all of these. Did SOE play TMB yet? No, I don't think so. I'm not sure. I don't think they did though. But the problem is this can just be stalemated for so long, and Ozone is just so far behind player that it's not gonna happen. And player actually is, you're crazy when you're using Petrobolus to go through a Hades town center that has not only fortified but also both of the armory upgrades. So this town center has 5,040 hit points. It's going to take a long time for these Petrobolus to take down, provided that Ozone repairs. Then we got mercenaries fighting mercenaries over here. Got 7-Up coming in. Still has like this barracks here, and they still have this underworld that's just kind of annoying the back here. And we have another underworld. Ozone is underworlded his forward base to his back base, and Petrobolus is still slowly hammering down at this town center. It's getting there, and just a little too late to show up with the Vills, and that will be the town center down. Actually are pushing back, even though they're way behind on score, they kind of are on the aggression down here. But they still got this underworld in their back. Yeah, I guess Petroboli would be Petroboli Catapult Juniors. Oh, that's what you're going for. Petrobolus or Petroboli, a little bit underwhelming, really. I mean, they are the only heroic siege, but I don't know, by the time you get enough heroic Petroboli out, it's just like you might as well just not have spent all that resources and just gone up to Mythic anyway. But they are pushing because 7-Up kind of doesn't have a whole much of, doesn't have a ton of army. He's kind of just waiting for his reg. And his army really, I mean, what's the point of all of this? He's killing spending a ton of pop just to kill a hill fort. While down here is a 2-on-1. But Mr. Boat, I don't think is aging up anytime soon. Yeah, he's not upping yet. We do have the catapults here pushing through. And just mercenaries fighting mercs. Catapult finishing off the frost giant. But yet now down here in the bottom we have Ozone has lost his forward. And we still have this underworld in the back with Petrobolas have gone through here. And are attacking on the back end. A little bit of a forward build with forward build barracks. And that is that. Could get these catapults up here and get these two buildings down. But poor Ozone just kind of got pasted a little bit here by player. Probably didn't help the 640 advance. If Ozone's still in the chat, maybe you can specifically tell us why you managed a Petrobolus. And you're right, that's part of it too, is by the time you get your fortress up and your 4 or 5 Petrobolus out, you've spent, that's taken like 3 minutes. And cost you a ton of resources. What, I forget now off the top of my head. Yeah, that's 350 resources of pop. So, or well, pop, a catapult. That's just a ton of resources. The back build that never disappears. The one nice thing about Hades buildings, though, once you fully upgrade them, they just last forever. I mean, 5,000 hit points in a town center. That is crazy. But this game will be over soon. I mean, players up 4-2. Gold Lion, even though he's on the back end of this, he's on the defensive. But I mean, he's never gonna lose. He's got endless gold. Because, well, he's now finally empowering the right market. So really, he could just spam mercenaries forever, and he'd be able to defend forever. And we've got this back build here that will result eventually in this town center going down, and now with Ozone lost his forward and his back. And what's crazy, when I'm looking at scores here, is that Ozone is still a higher score than Mr. Boat. And Mr. Boat has kind of been untouched for a very long time. And now finally up with Balder at 24. We'll respond with an immediate reg with just 1 line of armory upgrades. So yeah, why is Mr. Boat so far behind when he really hasn't, other than that early push and very early heroic, just not a whole lot going for the guy as far as recovering. I'm doing reg to save this, but I mean, he's not going to be able to do enough with his reg. Meanwhile, player is just killing these, finishing off the storehouses. Will the reg save the town? Yes, it did, just barely. Maybe 1 or 2 more volleys. And we have another. Oh, now they're popping back through. And now, okay, so now we do see Gold Line is pushing back, and we have the resignation from Raha. And player using ceasefire just to do so. So that is game 1. This side ended up being a little bit closer than I thought, though it was fading fast for Raha. But yeah, really, to me, Ozone had some struggles, but Mr. Boat as the pocket, a little bit underwhelming with his performance. But well played by F2, and good try by ATB. And so we'll put on our first game of the night for F2 versus ATB is a 1-0 victory for F2, which is kind of decided. Ozone, I want to know, why did you advance? I mean, I'm all for late advances, but a 637 classical age? If you could explain that to our wonderful friends in the chat, that would be helpful. Because that's slow. 7 up with a 435. Looking at kill death, player 244 to 157. That's pretty solid. A lot of that is the rating. 7 up was a very poor kill death. Actually, he lost a ton of units, but I mean, he was keeping people busy. ATB Boat also way behind. Raha also way behind. Maybe you couldn't find Hunt. I mean, you got your scout, you should be able to find hunt. I think this was just the one hunt spawn though, version, because Ghost Lake can do two spawns per player as far as your medium hunt, which is this, or it can just do one. It's a kind of, I think, 50-50. But anyway, that is game 1. We will move on to game number 2. Oh, Medit. Okay, so Medit. On the top is our ATB team. We've got, looks like a few Egyptians. Yeah, okay, so Ozone is switched over to ISIS. Raha is our pocket. He's Ra again. And our other player, Thor, is Mr. Boat. On the bottom, we have, okay, player will be Zeus. Gold Lion, oh, Squash is Hades. Okay, so Squash is replaced Gold Lion. And our pocket is Flame, is replaced 7-Up. So kind of some new players here just to spread the joy around. So Zeus, Hades, Kronos, Isis, Thor, Ra. Much better gods for this map on F2's side. Kronos really isn't bad at all on Medit. The deconstruction and then the time shifting forward of temples can really provide quite a bit of problems. And actually Ozone going for the 2 dock strat. Why the 2 dock strat? That's a little bit, I don't know if you're anticipating maybe a deconstruction or something. Yeah, these Isis, Ra, Thor on Medit, that's rough. Egyptian and Medit, not so great. Isis can do okay because we'll get an early prosperity maybe, and at least go Anubis for, you know, at least a god power here. Ra and Medit is pretty rough just because your god powers are kind of useless. As Ra, I mean, on early Medit, I mean, you can't, Rain doesn't do much. You can't shift Vils. So there's not really, Ra, that's the kind of the difficulty with Ra on Medit. Medit is kind of Ra's only bad map, really, is that you just can't do anything with your god powers early. Yeah, Gaia is good. I would actually say that Gaia is the better choice than Kronos here. And in fact, Gaia, to a certain extent, is pretty equivalent in team games on Medit to Aranos. Maybe even slightly better, at least on Medit. RTSL gives a certain nervousness. But Medit games are pretty standard. That's the one bad thing about Medit, is that it's pretty straightforward. Every game you're gonna see the same thing. Absolute busted. Cease My Fire, you seem to like to sensationalize everything. So far, just about everything you've talked about is busted. It's good, but I wouldn't say it's busted. I mean, team games kind of normalize everything as it is. So even like the overpowered stuff kind of becomes slightly less overpowered in team games, just because the inherent nature of team games, bigger maps, you can rely on your allies for help. But it's good. Gaia's tree. I don't know why people don't do it more. I always hate it when I'm playing team games and I got a guy on my team and he just gives it to himself. Squash is okay. So we've got our not really a very good forward temple here. You could get it a lot closer. I guess maybe they're trying to make sure it doesn't get scouted, but that's kind of a poor placement for it. So we'll probably see the Oracle Valor with some Prometheans coming out, and the Hades might end up. Oh, the Hades going up with Athena for restoration, and so is player going up with Athena for restoration. And this is This is also as tough. Restoration is huge when it comes to water battles, and that's what I'm talking about. Whereas you have kind of gods like Ice or Ra that really have no early god powers that do any benefit for the team, and then you get Zeus aging up and Hades aging up with restoration, and that god power is just so good on Medit, and then you get your Ra that can really do nothing to help the team as far as god powers, and just that's kind of just to illustrate why ATB's god or Civ choice here is kind of poor. We have our first age ups coming at 430. Ozone isn't even aging up. Kind of a slow age up, Mr. Ozone. But yeah, it looks all the F2 players are first to age up as it is. And we have our oracles looking for vills to harass. Probably kill a couple dock or boats or what? I need to wake up. Killing a couple of houses. We have prosperity being used by Ozone. Getting pickaxes up with Anubis. And okay, here comes the boats. First boat's coming in from players doing just 2 docks. Just 2 docks for Flame and just 2 docks for Squash. So 2 docks all around. 3 docks here for Mr. Boat. Is doing some damage here on the vills. I like this, and he does even have the Oracle tech as well. I see a lot of players, even in some of our RTS League games so far, is that they'll do their Valor and then just attack a dock and get like 300, 400 health off of it, and then that does nothing else. I like it getting on the vills instead. But we got Minotaur here. You've got the Scout really putting in some work. We have a Restoration being used very early on to really mainly get this Minotaur beefed up. We have Snakes used up here. Ozone is barely fishing. And as we see here, the auto queue getting pumped on. So, okay, so we've got a 2-on-2 over here and a 1-on-1 over here, and so far F2 is kind of already way in the aggression. Just not a lot of boats. I mean, just look at the boat count. Holy cow. Like, Raha just has almost no boats. And even Mr. Boat. Ironic that Mr. Boat's boats are all dying here. And this is very quick, at least on this side, looking to be a very quick demolition, and we still have a restoration to be used. Player used bolt somewhere. I don't know, maybe he bolted a snake. Oh, he used bolt on the Pharaoh. Oh, so Ozone has kind of decided that water is useless and is getting a sound center already. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of right in a way. I mean, just look at this. Raha, just his boat count is just way behind. Mr. Boat making boats, but they just keep dying. Give a town center being grabbed by Squash. This town center is going to get up in time. These ATB's best players, I'm not sure. I don't think Mr. Boat has been playing in most of their match. Well, maybe he did. I'm not sure. Ozone's their best player, so he's there. These snakes also a little bit back too far because of the way they wander. I think you probably used them here, which the problem is then because they spawn in kind of a circle, you're going to get your some of your snakes way up against the coast, so you're going to want to get it a little bit more forward next time. A lot of boats by Flame just sitting here cooling off. We have Squash coming over here to help out, which means with being followed by Mr. Boat and Raha, which means that these boats can play over here. Mr. Flame, look at Mr. Flame with a high score. Alright, so we actually have F2 kind of going back now. But that's because we can see what they have done. The reason they are falling back on water is because they had the early aggression and got the advantage. They are now taking all of their town centers. So we have 3 town centers. Flame getting 1 town center. And then Squash also getting 2 town centers. This is okay. Here is the other town center hiding in that very last pit of blackness. So Mr. Boto has kind of got his boats in a little bit of a predicament here, getting them kind of caught in this little arm of the ocean or sea or whatever it is. This doesn't really even look like much of a sea. It's more like a lake. But Ozone does have more boats than Player here and is back on the aggression. But we'll see if... no, Squash isn't even making any boats. Flame still has boats. Yeah, the Black Holes all have a town center. That is the mystery. Squash is pushed off of water, but you know it's kind of voluntarily. Like this really isn't F2. This really isn't ATB winning water at all. This is just F2 just kind of reaching the point where they don't really need it anymore. And even when you were looking at fish, actually Squash's fish are actually pretty bad. He really only has 3, 6, like kind of 7, 8 fish, and they're all pretty far out there. So really kind of not much of a reason for him to fish. And Player used Restoration to push Ozone back, and we see Ozone is just pumping so much resources into his navy to the point where by the time he wins the battle and kills the fishing ships, they're not really worth anymore. I mean, you're figuring it's 150 resources for every single boat. That's a ton of resources. I mean, he'll win this fight and should continue to press. But he's only at 2 town centers, and Player is at 3 with 2 upgrades. And Ozone is making some farms and a very far away mining camp here. Raha does not have any fish, does have 1 town center. But probably, okay, this is his only food. Does he have a monument? He does. Well, obviously, you look at how much they spend relative to their opponent. Which, I don't know. It looks like Player is still keeping up. But even so, I mean, Player still is massing out boats. So now Ozone's going to have to fall back here shortly. Maybe. Yellow in the middle. He's building a dock with his fishing ship. Yeah, eventually this is becoming a losing battle for Ozone. And then we have Flame just kind of swimming in the back just to finish it off. But that is the mistake when you talk about overloading on boats. It's kind of a common lower to mid-level mistake, is where players will just way overcommit on water to the point where eventually when they do win, it's just not worth it. Yeah, the +2 range is important. It usually allows kind of the back line of triremes to fight as well. And yeah, that does give them quite a bit of edge over the Egyptian boats, at least in like a situation like Medit. Something like Anatolia isn't quite as important. No, it was +4 originally. It's down to 2 on the patch. It's been 2 for probably 3 or 4 years now. Well, maybe not that long, but it's been 2 for a very long time. I'm looking for this rain to come in, and it's not coming. For as long as Raha's been off of sea, he needed to have his rain come in a lot sooner than what it is. Because Ozone kind of needs the rain too, and now we finally have the rain, and Ozone's getting a little bit of a raid in on his gold here. Why is he building a tower? Yeah, without a wall, I mean, Ozone has no military. He's making a slinger that will totally turn this around. I mean, look, this slinger could one-shot 2 of these Toxotes. Let's see what this slinger does. This slinger will maybe... Oh, okay, slinger's firing at the Hippocon. taking it down 1 HP at a time. Over here, Flame Jr. and Squash are kind of powering over. This game's kind of becoming a bit of a landslide here. The Slinger decided to shoot at Odysseus instead. That's a lot of Prometheans, though. Holy cow. What are we looking at? 8? Probably be able to kill this town center, actually. Oh, yeah, certainly. We got this Behemoth coming in, and we have a Underworld going... Where is it? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, here it is. Alright. So, Mr. Boat is in a bit of trouble. He's going to lose his forward town center as soon as Teal attacks. And we have an Earthquake as well. That completely levels Mr. Boat's main base. And now we are attacking on this side, and Raha is just nowhere to be found. He does not even have a single military unit. Very slow transition for him to land. And we even have the very powerful Chimera. That's the one nice power spike, though, that Hades gets, is that Earthquake is so strong. Such a strong god power. And yeah, so that's 2 town centers down for Mr. Boat, who still has a high score on his team. And Ozone is the first to recognize that all is futile. He got completely pushed off of his gold mine. Did have a back one here, which he could have gone to, but he didn't. That's okay. But Mr. Boats and Raha are still okay. So now we're getting the resignations, and just when you talk about it, F2 is always, yeah, well, mainly player, but player and Squash are just so strong on Medit. They're so good at it, and they've been playing it on RTS League for especially player, for a very long time. So as far as when you're talking about just team skill, I mean, just F2 in this situation, way ahead in skill, and then God's way ahead, and then we see a 15-minute, very brisk Medit victory. So that is 2-0 to ATB. On Medit. Not just Medit, but yeah, I'm trying to be nice here, guys. We'll take a quick look at our kill loss. 91 to 42. Ouch. 43 to 101 Ozone. Mr. Boat, and then Raha, 19 to 41. Ouch. Those are some very rough kill-death ratios, just like we had in the first game. And that will quickly snowball to losses when you have kill-death ratios like that. Okay, so we are going to move on to our third game of the night. Let me just a very brief little intermission again while I make sure everything's ready for our third series. So third series and final is ONU versus UCA. Okay, let's see. Get this stuff ready. I got a little bit of a misname. That's okay. Yeah, so I'm back from my vacation, obviously. 2 games is not bad in the first round. Oh, yeah, so far they haven't been too long. Well, the problem was, too, one of TM versus Dodge was saved and restored, so I couldn't even do all that. But we're ONU and UCA, so let us get back to our games here. RTS League recorded games. Let's change this to ONU versus ATB. Oh, not ATB. UCA. All these single letters gets confusing. ONU is almost UCA, or UCA is almost ONU backwards. Yeah, I know UCA has 2 teams, but they got dumb names like Owls and Crabs. It's those. I can't put that in there. Like UCA Owls. That's so. At least get a cool name or something. Maybe there's some sort of hidden meaning behind it that I don't know, but I saw those names. Like, wow, that's kind of dumb. F2 versus, or not, okay. ONU versus UCA on Alfheim, and we see lots of Ras. We've got 4 Ras, Poseidon and Zeus. So up on our top is ONU, and here is Pisk, he is Zeus, and then we have Ra Tesla, and then Ra Itachi. And on the bottom is UCA. We've got Hero. Yeah, this is their better team, but the other team is still pretty good. Hero is Ra. I Kill is Ra. And then Matrius is Poseidon. Alright, so Ra, 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 Ra. I don't know, it's same as CNA. What am I saying? Okay. Dude, it's late. I had like 3 hours of sleep last night and none today. I'm trying to transition from, because I work night shift, so normally I stay up at night, but on my 2 weeks I flipped my schedule and slept like a normal person. So now I am trying to unflip, and whoo-wee, it is rough. Do I have the right overlay on? Let me make sure. Tell me if I don't have the right overlay on. But Alfheim, all these Ras, it takes a special kind of person to enjoy the specific matchup when you have so many Ras. With just being such kind of a closed map, Ra becomes so much stronger. And the team games really play into or minimize Ra's weaknesses. Ra's weakness being early aggression on the second gold mine, but with the larger maps and team games, it becomes that much harder. And it just gives the time that Ra needs to get past that window. No, you know, yeah, I used to love Ra. I still like playing Ra because Ra's my best, though at this point in my life, best is not really good at all. But I don't know, back in the olden days when I played Ra, when you played Ra, you were kind of like a hero. Because if you didn't play Ra, you played ISIS, and everybody hated ISIS. And so, like, some idle town center time from Matrius here. Nowadays, Ra has just become such a, I don't know. Ra's like almost considered like the animal prostitute of Age of Mythology. The recent nerfs on the most recent patch have helped in 1v1, but still team game and then you also got the crazy market bonus too. That team trade bonus is just terrible. I don't know why they included the market trade bonus, so I think you get additional, does it double? I can't forget, I don't remember. Doubles your income on gold on trade, but I don't know why they included that, because with the larger maps, you're already exponentially, your trade is already getting better, and then you just double it on top of that to make ally trading even stronger. That's kind of one of the huge reasons why Ra is so strong in team games, is because of the influx in food allows for an early caravan trade route, which then gets you just such a huge eco. I mean, team game caravans is, I'm pretty sure, more efficient than fully upgraded heroic gold mining, provided you have a decent trade route, especially as Ra with you're empowering your market. But anyway, I'm kind of talking more of this game and not game general and not about this game. What kind of relics we got? System of Bast makes villagers cheaper. It's not terrible. What do we got? Odin's Wand, Temple Improvements cheaper. That doesn't do a whole lot. Monkey Head. Where are the other relics? Everybody grabbing them? I only see 2 on the map. But what we're going to see is just a whole bunch of heroics, fast heroics from all of our raw players. We'll see what kind of timings we get. On a map like this, you can kind of afford to be a little bit of a slower heroic than normal. Like really a 9-minute heroic isn't bad. Not something like this. Yeah, I've kind of thought about that. It would actually be very pretty. I would actually kind of change it to being actually pretty good, actually. I don't know what Itachi is doing, but Itachi is advancing way too slowly and making a second mining camp. When we're talking about players, so UCA has a very good lineup of players. These are all really good top team game players. UCA is one of the best teams that's in RTS League right now. ONU here, this is, I don't think, their best team. Itachi is not super great, and Tesla neither. And even Pisk, I mean, he's got to the point where he's about my age, 31. Just not what he used to be. Because actually me and him had some battles back in like 2005 in RTS League. We were kings back then. Now we're just chumps. But yeah, you're going to see a bunch of 2-town center grabs. Really, in this case, you want to be the first one to get your rain out. You'd want to advance 5 minutes. And we see... It looks like Harrow is leading the way as far as making farms. Tesla and Itachi are just advancing way too slowly. We see they are just now getting their town centers, whereas the other Ra's on UCA side already have their town centers up with farms. And so definitely we'll see UCA getting their rains in first, which will help them exponentially advance faster. You always want to get your plow. Looks like they are working at get it. Yeah, plow. Itachi is just getting Shadoof. So he is not even going to be able to get in on this first rain because you can't afford to make your farms before you get Shadoof. So yeah, Itachi with his very slow advance is really costing him here. Yeah, even Matrius getting in on the rain because I mean we're going to have 4 rains. Back to back rains. Wouldn't it be cool if it like flooded the map and then the only place you could be would be on top of the cliffs? It'd be awesome. Completely change the way the game played. That would be a cool mechanic, like if it like slightly enlarged like bodies of water during rain and then slowly stopped towards the end. Bro, this guy says to me. Kind of busy, bruh. Hacker has been found. Okay, well, we'll let him pop up in the bottom there. So, yeah, we're going to see a bunch of... he has the evidence of a hacker. Tesla gets managed. I'm sure they're all clicking like as fast as they could after that first rain to get their second rain in. So Tesla wins the click fest. And what kind of timings are we going to see for these advances? Even Pisk is behind the farming. Like we see, Matrius has already got more, and he already had his town centers. Though we see ONU with the high score right now. This guy even managed to hack the balance patch. Yeah, that happens. Uh-oh, we got some Pisk with the early... Centaur raids. I like that. That's why I guess he was a little bit delayed. But he's got to watch out. We got some priest showing up to help out. Should be able to pick off this one. The problem is at this point with Pisk, being able to kind of do he's housed. Effective centaur raids and still manage your eco and not lose all your centaurs. That takes a decent amount of APM, and I don't know if at this stage in Pisk's career he's got that APM up. I know I don't. Oh, does pick off that one Vil though. I know that was a nice pick off there. The Vil was at like 3 HP and picked it off. And And this is where Poseidon is very weak against, is the Centaur raids, because his second Hippolyta is just so inefficient because of her very long attack animation. So you can do some damage against that was Tesla the very first advance at 930. These are some slow advances. 938. Wow. This guy's still messaging me. But on this one, everybody's raw. You don't really need to advance quite so fast. And we see kind of Matrius is kind of trying to counter Pisk with some Hippicon, but actually Centaurs do pretty decent against Hippicon, and while Pisk might lose Avil, nope, not even. Matrius is actually losing quite a few cavalry. I mean, cavalry aren't cheap. And Harrow is up at Harrow was slower because he was 3 town center. So Harrow was like 4 seconds slower than Tesla, but had an additional town center. So he's going to have a huge eco, and they should be setting up their market trade and then getting a priest on it to empower it. I would assume we have tons of food sitting in these players' banks. Yeah, we do. 1,000 food. Holy cow. Yeah, in this Ravi Ra matchup, you really should just do a 3 town center. Might as well with 4 Ra's. And then gonna have Locust probably all showing up on Pisk. And that's he lost quite a few vills here, also getting attacked by these myth units, and lost some houses as well. And Pisk doesn't really have much of a defending army at all, actually. That is one problem. When you do your Centaur push, and you do Centaurs before you make your town center, if you don't get enough damage with your Centaurs, you're going to fall behind the eco line. And that's where he is right now. He's fallen behind economically and just doesn't have enough units to fight this back. And wow. Itachi is really slow to get any sort of military build. Whereas it's 1150 and Itachi, I mean, does not even have... Oh, the double locust on poor Pisk. Itachi used locust somewhere back here. Kind of a pointless locust. I mean, the centaurs are going to kill all these vills anyway. Why would you locust that? Should locust the Poseidon. That's where you're going to get your most value. Otherwise, you're locusting something that's already going to end up with dead vills. But Itachi is building his first Migdal finally at 1230, whereas Harrow has elephants and siege and is at almost full pop. Well, he is at full pop. Matrius up Aphrodite at 1230. Making the mercenaries. Whoa. 4 monuments? I guess he's trying to go Petsucho spam, but loosen his temple. So what kind of relics did he have? Okay. The unupgraded spearmen here are just going to get absolutely lasered by these crocs. Oh man. Like, that's just complete and utter waste of resources is all of this. We have... Oh, Piss got to use his ceasefire. He is getting hammered right now by Matrius. Looked good for a little bit, but then the cavalry showed up and really screwed up with Pisk, and then the double locust. And then for some reason, Tesla's still holding on to his locust, and then Piss buddy Itachi used locust on a gold mine that was already getting raided. So yeah, ONU, I believe this is UCA's map. Well, that's locust, I guess. And so UCA, they got a couple Raw players on their team already, and Poseidon does well with the Raw buddies. 2. We have the okay. Trying to get this town center built before these women grunting. What in the world? They are lasting forever. Tell you what, Skin of the Rhino actually is really good in raw wars because it generally means that Locust won't kill Vills. But UCA is 4-4 to 3 town centers, so they are taking control of the map. Okay, so Itachi is aged up to Mythic, going for the quick Mythic. However, Hero using Rain is preventing any sort of tornado from being used, and we've got, for some reason, he's just ignoring the fact that his town center is going down and is fighting up here while his town center is being decimated. Itachi actually, score-wise, is okay. It's mainly just the Hero kind of is throwing away some very expensive units, which helps the score line. And up here, Pisk, just so far behind. Getting a back raid with all these Hippicon, they're going to do some damage. All these spears. So yeah, I mean, Itachi will push back to here, but probably won't really go much further than that. Really needs to get his town center back. Look at all these, holy cow. Siege Tower Heaven right here. Where did, okay, here's the raiding. Hippicon, they're just kind of stuck right here, I guess. Kind of trade routes we got. So yeah, nice huge trade route from Hero, though it looks like he just kind of got it started. Oh, he's kind of trading from 2 markets. It's kind of weird. 156, and this camel 184. It's just so much. So we have a tornado being used. Does not have any, a tornado up here. You must have used a tornado like right up there, but will it have quite enough juice to get it? It's gonna be close, very close. It looks like just no. Yep, one tick off. What is it at? 67 HP. That sucks. Matrix up with the earthquake, and that completely demolishes Pisk, the rest of his base, and Pisk, we can see, is way behind. Not a good game for Pisk. I mean, he is on the receiving end of a lot of bug swarms, which hurts. Yeah, destroy it with a tower. Oh, that was loud. It's quite the fight here. Kind of the defender's advantage too. That's what sucks about Egyptian, is just the defender advantage when your mercenaries just get there closer. Yeah, ONU needs Legis, and now we have another tornado. This will kill this town center. It's not fortified. Flying catapults. Well, there's that. So yeah, this game's over. It's been over for a while, but we'll watch to the bitter end. Tesla's taking control. Yeah, Pisk just got hammered. I don't feel like in this situation the Centaurs is a good choice. Just so hard to get good raids with them, and it then just slows down your town center grab, and we can really just compare him to Matrius, and we can see that Pisk, you compare the two Billies just behind, even when this is even with rating kills, and then when you compare economy, ouch, that is a huge difference right there. Otherwise, we can look at the Raws and see that they're all pretty similar. Itachi with that very slow advance ended up being the worst there for a while. Then I kill, and then Hero I got the best of them all. So that is game 1. So we will move on to game 2. Hopefully it'll be close. We really haven't had any close games tonight. That's kind of the downside of RTS League group stage, is that you tend to get some steamrolls. But F2, no, I keep having that name wrong. Yes, address the grave concerns. So UCA versus ONU. This is on ONU's home map. And we have ONU on the top. We have Itachi is set. Okay. We have Asterix as Thor. And then we have Pisk as Zeus again. On the bottom side of the map, we've got our UCA boys. Men, maybe, or women. Hero is a Loki, kind of that's his normal god choice. Odin, for I kill you die. And another Norse, Thor. So we have the trifecta of Norse down on the bottom. Thor, Odin, Loki. And then on the top we have a little bit more variety. They address little players' grave concerns. We will take a look at that after, or maybe tomorrow. The jingle jangle of the Dwarven Mind. What are we going to see in this game? This is going to hopefully play a lot differently than the previous game. Well, it has to. This will be pretty aggressive. The things with games like this is that you get a couple good raids in, and it can really snowball fast. So we'll see. I mean, overall, you can't. The actual Thor, Odin, Loki combo isn't terrible. Set can do some damage to one of the players with a forward shift. Wonder if they'll do that. Again, skill-wise, obviously UCA is way ahead of ONU, which is why I'm kind of surprised. So in RTS League on your home map, you can pick a map. Kind of surprised that not to see ONU, or even more like kind of the B tier teams, like selecting maps from the non-standard map pool, because you can select almost anything like Team Migration, Vinland Saga, stuff like that, and then kind of come up with a special strategy and use that to beat one of the better teams. That was something I used to do back in the day, because my clan, we were probably slightly above average. But we would use those maps to get wins off of some of the good clans, and man, did they hate it. Oh, they could always get so pissed. We picked a lot of Nomad in Vinland Saga. So, I mean, they were probably rightfully so angry and upset. But we didn't care. But for the Loki, we'll see. Herseer, the Thor will probably do raiding cavalry, and we might see Ulfsarks from our Odin. Up here, I probably should go. This is a good Centaur matchup. Centaurs, as long as they stay away from the Herseer, can do a lot of damage, especially to the Odin. But even the Thor can get damage too. But we'll see. And then it's kind of strange, the set. Kind of the strange pick of the bunch. Set really good in 1v1. Team game falls off because Set's kind of claim to fame is the really aggressive classical age shift followed into complete map control with the animals, which you can't really do that in team games. You can't really do a very aggressive forward shift, like getting forward to town center. And steal one from the opponent because it's just so hard to defend against 3. I mean, defender's advantage early on, and then you can't control the entire map. So really, here Ra would be a better choice than Set in this case, and really in most cases in team games. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, a lot more aggression on this, but it's still a significant disparity in skill. So the ONU is it's gonna be rough for them to try to win this. We have I kill with a very fast 415 advance. He's the Odin. I wonder if we'll be seeing Ulfsarks. Would not be surprised. Yeah, that's like I said, that is the downside of the pool play, is that you do see a decent number of one-sided games, and depending on how these, I might end up just doing the close matches, some maybe. We'll see. So Itachi is using vision. Where did he use that on? No, how would I get it on Itachi? So he did it here. So we have a forest fire and then shifting sands. Kills one Vil. Trying to get on these Herseer to kill more. Kind of not good that they're fighting underneath the tower or town center. And Matrius did well prepared to. He did not have any on the berry. He only lost one Vil. That's pretty good. This is the original version, not extended edition. This is being played on a Voobly. Gotta watch out for your Herseer versus Minotaur. There's an obvious win difference there. So it did do a forward shift, but only one villager dead. And then you also have the side effect for Itachi is now that he's losing out on a 20% empowerment on a drop-off. So actually the shift in this case is hurting him more than it's helping him. Really all it does is you can't, unlike 1v1, you just can't use your shift to get complete map control. So they're just kind of searching around looking for more Vils to kill. Pisk is getting pushed off of his hunt at 6 minutes. Surprised to see absolutely no walling at all. Pisk is making archers. That's not good. I wonder if he went. What did he go? He went He went Athena. That surprises me, because there's going to be likely 2 flaming weapons coming up for UCA, and he will not. There will be no ceasefire for that, so that hurts. Athena is kind of the suboptimal play here, and look at, oh man. Yeah, he is hurting. Pisk is hurting for food. His town center is not training. The problem when you're making Toxotes to defend is they are so slow. So once Harrow comes up here and sees all the Toxotes, he will just ignore them and then come raid somebody else. And the Toxotes being so slow won't be able to follow. I did end up going raiding cavalry. Okay. Not Ulfsark. Matrius, a little bit of a mix, but more raiding cavalry it looks like. So they're looking for, did they scout that? How would I get somebody? No, they don't. So this is kind of all in the black. We'll see if they got their map hack on. If they find this hunt, we'll declare map hack, and I will give the game administratively to ONU. Oh, did not find the hunt. So map hack check. Checked out, as in he does not have it. But Pisk is already at a pretty significant disadvantage. And look at where he is hunting. That is a bold location to hunt. Does UCA have a line of sight? They do, so they should be able to know, as soon as they just start clicking on the aurochs, that these are being hunted. So I would expect to see an attack on these Vils at some point. I would assume UCA will have someone checking to see if there's being hunted. No town centers. Well, now Itachi has a second. So unlike last game where everybody was rushing to get all their town centers, this is a little bit different. Oh, here it comes. Oh. You missed it. Wow, they look like they're headed right for it. And then they went up there. He's doing that just on purpose. So we think he doesn't have map hack. Oh, now they're turning back. No. So close. Oh, now Matrius will spot it. Yeah, oh, we're gonna start the Steam versus Age of Mythology debate. It's actually, I think, as far as you consider multiplayer, it's probably pretty similar numbers. Steam to Fubli. Where are these Vills going? I mean, I guess he's running. Well, he's definitely running them the wrong way. Well, now we're not running at all. So for Extended Edition, the pathing is worse, and it kind of has some strange built-in lag. It's kind of like, I kind of equate it to like when you're playing console games on an emulator. It's just, there's just something about the input that it just seems like it lags a little bit more, and unit stutter. So it's too bad because it would be great. I mean, the official platform to be good, but it's just got some problems. And Itachi is getting raided up here, and he's sending, it looks like, more Vills. I guess, you know, you let the first 3-4 die, and then you send the next down so that they can hunt from there. The problem also I see with Itachi going barracks units, barracks units are just so slow, and by the time they show up to fight, usually the fight is too late. And then if they show up and there's too many of them, the faster units can just run away, and now your barracks units will be out of position. Pisk is doing a little bit of an attack down here. We actually have some raiding from Asterisk. Asterisk is generally plays pretty decent, and yeah, I think he's been safe so far pretty well. We're looking if he can, there is some places he can harm down here, but Matri is following with his army. And Pisk just doesn't have much of an army because of he had to run his hunt all the way up here. And same thing for Itachi, is kind of looking for places to hunt and is not really doing. Oh ho! Arrow just ran right past that granary. But Astra's putting on some good raids down here. Not killing units though, but is making idle time. We have Itachi being really brave and taking another town center very forward. I would question that he is going to have the food income to support 3 town centers, because I think the only place he's hunting is here, and that hunt's almost done. We have a resto on this big fight here. Piss just didn't have much of an army, so, and we've got a lot of raiding cavalry right here, not fighting much. There we go. Now they're fighting up here, and I think this will end up being a win for ONU. Yes. So the restoration did come up big there, and Asterisk is playing well. Unfortunately, Pisk really got screwed losing his hunt, and not going Hermes really hurt Pisk here. Though that restoration was huge for that fight. Look, yeah, Asterisk getting more. Hey, how's it going, Versin? Versin Getorix? Or Getorix, or get your Rex on. It's going good. I think this will probably be the last game of the night. I'm just finishing up my last recorded game. Yeah, I don't know if I'll play any now. Now, finally, Harrow realized that there's some units here to raid, and we'll kill some more Vills. And whoa, farming on your forward stolen town center. So you generally don't want to farm on your forward town center, because that's going to be the one that's going to get attacked. You especially don't want to farm on the one that you stole from the enemy. You should be farming only back here. So this farming enterprise will likely end soon. And we have a few age ups going up. Harrow is up with Braggy. And we have Kill went up with Scotty. So we have a flaming weapons and a frost that can be used somewhere. Hastrick, I think, is going to come down here to try to help out, but that's not going to be able to. And now we see All these farms that he built are just going to be useless. It's a waste of farm that'll end up unless he deletes them. But we do have this lady here getting our last, picking her last few veggies. How was my vacation? It went well. I mean, trip was long, there and back, but no big problems. Well, we did. Cam managed to get an ear infection and was kind of down and out for a whole day, but he came back. Bounced back pretty quick, but we got the Toxotes here. Harrow kind of just throwing his army away here. And now we've got the raiding cavalry coming in, and these Toxotes need to go back. Yeah, there we go. It's raiding cavalry looking to raid. Will they pop and stop on the gold mine or run past? Running past. Looks like they're checking this gold mine first. They're coming to visit Brazil. No. Nice little fight here. Do have a nice little power ball of Toxotes, but they need to kind of back him up a little bit. He's going to get himself surrounded if he doesn't move. And yeah, so the Toxotes are now in a very terrible spot. Nice little deletion of the barracks to kind of save it a little bit. But the problem is we have Itachi fighting while Pisk is just purely retreating. And now we've got upgraded raiding cavalry against unupgraded Toxotes. So, oh no, they are upgraded. But they do run back. Kind of surprised. And now the Toxotes are getting a little too far forward. He needs to watch out. Just be careful. Yep, there we go. Moving back. Raid here. Not doing too much. Green is still raiding, but kind of stuck. Harrow with a huge score right now. But the fight is pushed off, or the attack pushed off for now. Yeah, I'd love to travel, but I got family. Just can't do it. Right here, killing a few vills. Asterisk, kind of after that initial early game usefulness, is kind of not done a whole lot recently. Oh ho ho, the power rate on the gold man here. Oh ho ho, that's a lot of vills dead. And Asterisk shows up and then runs. He's like, I'm out of here. He runs all the way across the map to get to this town center and realizes, yeah, this is a sucky situation, and he just runs off. Psych, I'm coming to help. No, I'm not. See you guys. And that's another town center down. And Itachi is just so far behind. Yeah, you're set. Once you get into making barracks units, you can kind of get to the point where you're just stuck in classical age for a very long time, and that's what's happened here to Itachi. As Egyptian in team games, if you're making barracks units in classical age, you're probably doing your team a disservice. And another raid on the back, and man, Itachi's economy is just getting smashed. I'd have to look at his Vil count line after the game, but it's way down. A possible arrest Torgal if I see him. Yeah, I'm good. Uh-oh. Pisk getting raided again down here. Oof. Another hunting. Well, I mean, at least the Aurochs is dead, so there's no more hunt to gather. But yes, the raids have been king here for UCA. They've done some really good raids. Asterisk had a few, but Pisk not going Hermes just kind of prevented him from ever going on the aggression. Itachi staying classical age and making barracks units, that also hurt him. Getting this town center was very optimistic and turned out to really hurt as well. And Matrius is now up. So we have the only player on ONU that aged up is Asterisk. Citizen sound effects are your favorite, like the ones when they're getting hurt. I enjoy that too, especially the women grunting. Like, it's just so overdone. Better not do that too much, or Sigma will clip it and it'll be embarrassing. Yeah, fortunately, guys, I didn't really have any close games here to go over with you guys. It is the downside, and we have all these Battleboard Mountain Giant just smash. Did we just get? I think we just got. No, we didn't. Yeah, he's gonna get it. One last whack. There we go. The Battleboard got it. Astros doesn't have any heroes, which is kind of hurting him here. It's taking him forever to kill these myth units. I'm not downstairs, man. I'm upstairs. We could see just on the color blobs here, just you can see like the kind of the battle line is drawn like across this side of the map. We have Asterisk using flaming weapons, which is then just promptly frozen. Harrow uses his Nidhogg, and Asterisk resigns, and this was not close. UCA just too good. I kill using Reg just to try to get his better eco or better thing, and that is the end of their attempt to get a game off of UCA. So far, no close games. That's too bad. F2 versus UCA, the final. Probably. I would think so. And more likely because within the division, the same clans, the 1 and 2, will always be opposite sides of the bracket. So, yeah, I think we'll end up seeing F2 UCA final. But oh, Victor did follow, so we got a follow. So thanks for the follow. Let's look at this villager count. So he was at one point up to 62, and that was all the way down to 34. That hurts. Asterisk 2 was down Vills. For some reason, Matrius and Pisk are turned off. But we can just compare. We can see that the only person we got, ONU does have the town center advantage, but not really up in Vills as far as a team. So that's just a lot of resources they were putting into economy that just they weren't getting it out because they're losing villagers all the time. So they spent, what is it, 600-700 resources per town center, and then they're spending resources to train villagers, and that's all getting destroyed and killed. So economically, they're just way behind. Kill loss ratio is way behind. My transmission rejoices the day after day of work. Okay, well that's good, man. So that is that. If I weren't so tired, I would maybe do some more, but I am struggling right now. Wow. I better help little player. He needs some help. So, what is my schedule? Look, Ultra Noob shows up just as I'm turning it off. No, I didn't win. You saw me playing, man. I sucked. I will stream again tomorrow night. I don't know if I'll do RTS games or play some games. I mean, after my playing games earlier, I definitely need to play. I'm way out of practice. It was some of the worst performance I've ever put together. So I don't know. Tomorrow night, either some more RTS Recs or playing games, or maybe a combination of both, actually. You know what? Maybe we'll do that. I'll do a combination of stream, maybe. Something like that. Buy an ox and name it. What's the going rate for an ox? Say I want to buy an ox. How much does an ox cost? How much is a good bull worth? I mean, you gotta get a bull so you can start having your baby ox. How much is a good bull worth? Okay. Well, that's not too bad. $3,500 for a better than average bowl. It's not terrible, I guess. 7 comments. Who comments on articles about the price of oxen? What happened to me? Oh man, they're talking about crossbreeding and stuff. Man, this is in depth. What happened to me? I spent a week in prison. No, I was on vacation, man. And when I was on vacation, I did not shave because I have to shave when I'm at work, and it's kind of nice to not shave. Though it does get very scratchy. So yeah, that's why. Oh, does anybody have any questions for me at all? Otherwise, I'll probably turn this off pretty shortly. You know, and if there were a game, I might play a game, but it doesn't look like it. Could just get in some really relaxed 3v3 and like do nothing. You have one question. Oh no. Hey, I do have. You know what? Let's do this before you guys leave. Just show you. Maybe just a little bit. I got a couple pictures maybe I can show you guys from our vacation. Which, our vacation, it's kind of misnamed. It's more of just let's go spend some time with the wife's family and not do anything awesome. Like it was a lot of sitting around at the house. It's more of a vacation for my wife, so that it's about a week of she doesn't have to watch the kids. She doesn't have to cook. So it's more of a vacation for her, and it's more of just a tag along for me. Do I have a babysitter? No, my wife stays at home for the most. She works just real part-time. What am I looking at here? So the one thing we did do on our vacation is, so I live in the Midwest USA, which is very flat. I mean, you get a little hill and it's like a mountain around here. Wife's family lives in kind of more of a mountainous, the Appalachians kind of, up in Pennsylvania. So it's pretty hilly there, which is completely different than around here. So one of the days we went to one of the parks that's on one of their, I guess, when you're considering like real mountain ranges, it's not an actual big mountain, but we went to like a state park and stuff, and it was pretty cool going up to we went on a hike and went up to see some waterfalls and stuff. So hold on, I'm trying to find some a decent picture here. So it's kind of nice going out on a walk. So just a little show and tell real quick, if you guys really care. Hold on, let me get here. So all right, so here is, it's kind of cool. We went on it's, I don't know, a little hike, not like maybe a quarter mile, and then you get up to this stream, and then there's part of this stream also has there's like a waterfall that comes down. It's just real nice nature-y pics, although the kind of the bad part is everybody else is there. So outside of this picture, there's like 50 other people milling around and thinking they're like real great pioneers in the world because they live in the city and they went out hiking for a quarter mile to this stream. But it was pretty cool. You get take the little campster along and walk across the bridge and the log and stuff, which is pretty awesome. We care. And then, so where is the video? I have a video somewhere. Oh, is the video not on here? Oh, here it is. So this is where we ended up going to. Whoa.
Here we are at some waterfalls.
Sorry, guys, that was really loud.
Alright, here we are at
wow, that was loud. So this is like halfway up. It's not really, when you consider a waterfall, it's not a huge waterfall. But it's actually when you, so this is the top, and it goes all the way down. to the bottom here. And I don't know how we managed to get the kids up here. It's actually pretty steep. It's pretty cool. So we were kind of wandering around. Cam loved it and stuff. To go in all the kind of go through all the water and the rocks and crap. I love nature. I wish I wasn't in such a boring part of the country. Like, I'd love to go to like Colorado and go see the Rocky Mountains. I don't know if I've ever been there. If I was there when I was like 4 or 3 or something. So I don't remember it. Montana would be awesome too. The problem is it's just so far. And I did go to Yellowstone, but again, I was like 4, so I don't remember that. I'm sure we'll do that. We'll do an out west trip at some point. It's just so hard to do long trips when you've got little kids. Like, we've got an 8-month-old, and Cam's not old enough where he can do stuff, but the 8-month-old kind of prevents us from doing a whole lot. So in a couple years, we'd go to SLC. What's SLC? Hades have a chance against Sense? Maybe. I'm not sure. SLC? What is SLC? I don't know what that's short for. Ski trip. Theme parks. See, I'm actually, this is gonna throw you off your chair. I've never been to a theme park. Never been on a roller coaster. Never really ridden on any sort of amazing ride. Salt Lake City. Okay. But see, if we're gonna go that far, we almost have to fly, because that would be like a 24-hour drive. With kids, that's impossible. And then when you start considering airline tickets, now when you start traveling with 2 kids and your wife, I mean, it's starting to get a little bit expensive just to get there. But I was really bummed. Last year, Southwest Airlines did a special where I could have flown round trip to Colorado Springs, I think it was, for about $50 each, and that's round trip. So we could have all like flown out there for like $200, but then my wife's family was supposedly going to come see us, and then they ended up not doing it. So that was when I ended up not getting the tickets, because their family was supposed to come, and then they ended up not coming. So it kind of annoyed me. Yeah, I'm in the Chicago area, a couple hours away. But yeah, Colorado Rockies are next to Salt Lake. Yeah. I'd love to go, but it's just a long way. But maybe the next time when there's like a cheap ticket deal, maybe we'll go fly out for a week or something and romp around in real mountains. That'd be so cool. Maybe not fall off. Try not to fall off. Yeah, I don't know. Theme parks don't, I don't know. That kind of entertainment just doesn't do much for me. And the lines, I couldn't wait in line for an hour to do a lot ride. I love when you talk about my wife's family. It's so negative. But I don't have a problem with their family. They're very boring. She would agree. And so, like, going to see them, it's just, I blow a whole week and a half of vacation hours just to drive 12 hours one way to be bored. I mean, it's nice for her because it gives her a break, but like for me, it just doesn't do much. So it kind of sucks for that end. And I mean, her family's nice; they're just boring. Well, see, I'm actually not from Chicago. I grew up in a very rural area. about 2 hours from Chicago. And that's where I still live. So I grew up on a kind of a farmette kind of a deal out on the middle of nowhere. In fact, let me do a Google map. We can kind of show you guys roughly where oh, hold on. Naperville, no, not even close. That's not in the country. That's still the city. See, that's what also gets me when I lived briefly in Chicago area for like 2 years. And everybody like lives out in the suburbs, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm out in the country." I'm like, "No, you're not in the country." So, let's see, how am I gonna get this to work? No, I'm way past that. Northwest, way out in the boonies. Okay, we can do this. Since you guys are talking, I got like my viewers are going down, but whatever. So this is the area where I grew up, and you can see it's just all farmland. There's absolutely nothing going on over here at all. Farmland, 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 and that's where I grew up. Zoom out, so I will zoom out. So Chicago is here, so I'm up in Northwest Illinois, and this is the world right here. So that's why I'm nice, because, well, my parents are great people. They really are. Close to Wisconsin. I grew up probably like 10 minutes. I mean, I live probably about 10 minutes from Wisconsin. I'm like an hour outside what? I'm like 2 hours from Chicago area. This is Chicago area. So then you get these clowns. When I lived in Oak Lawn, which is here. I know you get people that live in Naperville, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't live in Chicago. We live out in the country, kind of. I mean, we're way out. We don't live in the city." I'm like, this is the city. All of this garbage is the city. Man, let's see. Oak Lawn. Look at this. Like, this just sucks. There's more people that live here in this little area than live like within like 100 miles of where I do. Where did I live? Down here. No, I don't like Chicago. I had two years in Chicago was enough for me. But yeah, anyway, a little show and tell. I actually have. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get to it on here. Never mind. Anyway, I gotta do some things around the house. I gotta eat. I think I'm gonna make myself some egg sammies. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll be here tomorrow. Starting, what is it, 11? Starting about 3 hours before, 3.5 hours before this, and maybe I'll play some games, or maybe not. Dark Risen, are you still around? The parking is worse than, yes. I stream, yes, I'll stream tomorrow about the same time. We'll see what I do. Get a babysitter. No, don't need that. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. It's good to be back. Got one more night after tonight, and then it's back to work. Vacation is over. So yeah, see you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll have fun tomorrow night too. So you guys take care. Have a good night or day or whatever.